Vincent, how does this development come to you? And first, what are its benefits to the economy before we look at the overall impact on the capital market?
Yeah, it's a very bold move by the president, and it's highly commendable. It's long overdue when you look at the issues we are having with FX, and despite all by the CBN government, the CBN government to resolve it, we have not seen a resolution. And people have suggested this move, but it has not been taken. So I think it's a very good thing having a unified exchange rate, and we will hope that it will help in attracting forex into the country, both for foreign direct investment and also for FPIs. Also, in some sectors, the aviation sector, like Nigeria have the highest funds that are trapped in, that have not been able to repatriate. So we hope that this move will help in attracting forex into the country, and it ease the demand for forex, which the CBN are unable to meet. Also, it has an impact in the economy, because when you have investment going into the country, it will help in the growth, economic growth. Nigeria will be growing at a very slow rate of about 3% for a long time. And the good thing that the president mentioned, the fact that he wants to grow the economy by about 6%, and there is no way he would have been able to grow the economy by 6% without doing something about the exchange rate. So it's a good thing, and it has its pros and cons. Like exactly. We talk about the pros, it also have the cons. When we talk about the impact is going to have on inflation, initial issues is going to have. Everybody commend the fact that in the long term, it is good for the economy. It will be good for the average Nigerian. But in the short term, it's going to have an impact because of inflation. And also, recently, we talked about removing subsidy. Subsidy has been removed. Definitely, it will have impact on the cost of fuel. And we expect the inflation figure starting from June to increase higher than the increase we have seen. So that's the sacrifice we have to make. And we hope that beyond just removing the exchange rate, unifying the exchange rate, we need to have policies around increasing Nigerians' ability to get forex. We cannot just continue to depend on oil and then depending on foreign investment, foreigners for us to meet our forex. We need to look at sectors that we can increase production and increase our ability to export, so that we can increase our ability to earn forex. These are other ways. So it's not just removing those. We need policy frameworks, and we need steps taken to increase our ability to meet the demands.
Ambrose, let me come to you now. This policy, like Vincent said, has its own pros and cons. But before we go in depth into that, I want to know, investors are watching. They are saying the development that's going on in the country as regards to the new administration. They're trying to check all the policies and see if they meet their own expectation in terms of coming to the country to invest. But in what way do you think that this development will boost investors' confidence in coming to invest in Nigeria?
Actually, like my colleague just said, this has been the end of many analysts, investors before now, and it's a good step in the right direction to kind of unify the exchange rate so that we have access to this fund. But the good thing is, one, for the investment environment, especially the equity market, with the exchange unification, stock becomes cheaper for foreign investors to come and buy. Like he said, this is not only just come and invest, bring your, all this, or call a portfolio investor, bringing their money to come and invest. Then any small change in policy they want to run out. What we need now is, with this unification, the government need to put a plan on the ground that those that are coming to do what we call foreign direct investment, bringing to stay in Nigeria for 5 years, 10 years. How are they sure that as they are coming, that the difference between either the black market and will be more than either 2 naira or 3 naira, so that at the end of the day, if you are staying here for 5 years, you know that you are not coming at 700 naira, are going out at what? At 1,000 naira. Because people understand this process of demand and supply in determining the price of the dollar, it has a way of making us be an advantage of it, and also going on the negative side. Because if there is scarcity of dollar, we're about to see dollar at 1,000 naira. But if the excess dollar in the system, we're about to see dollar around 400 naira, which the manufacturer will smile. But at this point, he just mentioned it when he was saying that it is time for government to bring out a plan. In the short run, this will hit up the system. But on the long run, if we have a plan, one, to make sure that our agricultural chain is being developed so that we can export a lot of things to earn more, not only depending on the foreign investor coming to invest in Nigeria. Our oil sector, I'm happy that we can see those sorts of security meeting with the president. I was told that Tompolo was there with him now today or yesterday. To see that legend that Niger Delta is secure, that we're able to meet OPEC quota for us, and we're earning good money. That will help us to shop our reserves, so that at any time we'll not have kind of scarcity of dollar that will make the price to shoot up to 1,000 naira. Because I'll tell you, this free float, we need to manage very well, because if not, I will tell you, we will hit our industrial sector that we want to grow. Because if bringing goods or bringing a machine, because for you to transact in the economy, you need machine, you need to import what you don't have here, so they can, then it will be too expensive for them. But I believe that before the government move this way, they have their own plan to stabilize it. That's very fun. If not, it's going to hit up our system, because inflation already crying that inflation is high. With the fuel removal, as what you said, with this exchange again, I will tell you that if there is cost of increasing production increase, this manufacturer won't be able to put their price on for the investor, the consumers, because the consumers, as we speak now, their purchasing power is very low.
Yeah.
Then there's a level you can increase your price of your goods. It will remain on the shelf.
Exactly.
And if it remains on the shelf, the company will be posting negotiation about which affect us in that market, and also employment they want to create won't be there.
Yes.
Because these companies, they are not expanding. We need to balance all this. But I believe that, like I just told you, that government have done the right one. In fact, they think it. But in the monetary policy that we want to reform, there are three major prices that we'll look at. That one is exchange rate, inflation, and interest. And anywhere in the world, central bank cannot control this three at once. You only can control two to check one. Now that we're looking for to see what will happen coming MPC meeting in July, how the new team will come up with. I believe that there's an advisor on monetary policy that was so I want to see how they're going to put their money together, so that we're able to manage that. We can now have a direction we're going, so that this economy, because one again, that if you want to attract foreign investor, your interest rates should be high.
Yeah.
If you want to drive the economy, your interest rates will be low. Like I said in the morning, look at what is happening in Japan and in China. They are cutting their interest rate to what? Provide cheaper funds for the economy to expand. But why in US, they just suspend to see where you go? Why in Europe, they increase marginally? Now, at this corner around, we need to work, because we have increased one thing that will strike our inflation, which is fuel subsidy. At the same time, this exchange that means we need to work on these two that remaining, inflation and interest rate. And if you want to attract foreign investors, when you increase it, we're going to push the economy again back to work, to contraction. We need to bring it down so that we can expand and support the group. For me, there's a dilemma at this point, but I believe that those in that space will be able to handle it. There's no cost for that.